about a certain section of financial news that nobody will believe. The reality of what's going on in our economy, the reason why it's happening, and how drastically it's going to affect the financial landscape of 2025. I've been warning about this for years. It is now coming to pass. I also, for the last year, said that right after the election is finished, the new president takes office, a deluge of reality, of truth bombs are going to come out, and they are laser focused in a way that will cause many people to blame the administration, the current, when I'm talking about 2025, rather than what happened in the last 4 years. The 100% number one driver of an economy, either to the upside or to the downside, is the amount of people that are employed and what type of employment or gainful employment there is. That dictates everything else, how people perceive the economy currently and in the future. I've got stories that are current that are about to expose a bunch of lies that happened in the last 4 years. And I've got a story from 2018. But I want to remind you that every one of us have a choice to be honorable with our money or dishonorable. And for a long time, for centuries, honestly, banks have talked people into taking out loans that they cannot afford. And we go through these cycles where people take out a bunch of debt, debt gets really inexpensive. People take out a bunch of debt, more debt than they can afford to take out. And then the economy contracts and they lose everything. And that is what is about to happen right before your eyes. And you can either be on the sidelines and take advantage of this situation, or you can let the banks take advantage because they've been taking advantage of the situation for a long time. And the truth is, there are a lot of people that do not deserve to drive the cars they drive. They do not deserve to live in the houses they live in because they were greedy. Okay? You can't stop greed. That is why I'm teaching everybody how to take advantage of tax liens and deeds. If you want to invest in those and give people a little bit more time to go and pay their taxes, you're going to get handsomely rewarded. All right. Very savvy investors have been taking advantage of this for centuries, and banks and hedge funds. It's time that people figure it out. If you want the link to the sale ends in 4 hours and then it goes up again. It will never be this price for the Tax Lien Pro and the Tax Foreclosure Master course. Now, the news headlines right now say on CNBC, stock futures inch lower after the Dow Jones notches the longest losing streak since 2018. This is incredibly important to understand what's going on today and the parallels to 2018 and 2019. Okay. In 2018 and 2019, the economy was in a all-out, flat-out crash. Let me read something, a story about Donald Trump in 2018 that you must understand what was going on back then. See, the Federal Reserve had started raising rates. They do this every single time they drop rates, they start to raise them. They understand that when they raise them, and there's been a sustained period of very low rates, people get so caught up in buying things they can't afford. And then what they do is they inch them up to where they squeeze the economy and cause layoffs. And they cause people to slow their debt purchases, and it cascades and crashes. Trump understands this, right? Check this out. President Trump responded to falling stock prices. This is back in 2018. He actually caused the Fed to immediately stop raising rates and take them down. He said Trump responded to falling stock prices on Thursday, back in October 11th of 2018, by continuing to throw rocks at the Federal Reserve, which he has described as crazy, loco, going wild, out of control, for slowly raising interest rates against the backdrop of a booming economy. Now, you have to understand the way reporters write, because most reporters have no concept of economics, and they're usually hit pieces, right? So I remember Trump raging against the Federal Reserve, and he was 100% correct because he knew that during his administration, they were going to take down the economy. It says here, no other modern president has publicly attacked the Fed with such venom or frequency. Indeed, some scholars said the only close historical parallel was President Andrew Jackson, who campaigned successfully in the 1830s to close the Fed's predecessor, the Second Bank of the United States. Mr. Trump's pointed remarks reflected the high political stakes less than a month before midterm elections that had been cast by his political opponents as a referendum to his presidency. So think about this. Um, what did Biden do this last year? He had all this incredible data, right? He kept spouting about how great the economy was. The whole time we're going, it's not great. Banks are crashing. Businesses are closing their doors, right? We've got storefronts closing all over the country. We've got layoff news all over the place, right? Like something doesn't seem right because the government numbers are showing one thing, and our reality is showing something else. Well, now I shared this chart with you yesterday, and this is very important to go over one more time. This is job openings. Now, we know that unemployment is ticking up. We know that the government keeps lying about inflation, right? And it seems like bad news is good news for the stock market. Well, right now, job openings have collapsed, right? That is a collapse. I don't care if you look at that as compared to here and you go, oh, it's a lot higher. You have to understand, look at this 2000, a dot-com crash, job openings crashed. 2007, 2008, when the Great Recession started, job openings crashed. Now we know the Fed, look at this right here during this recession, job openings crashed, but there's no recession bar right here. Now, every single one of us, type one if you agree we're already in a recession, or type two if you believe the government numbers. You're like, no, I believe they're being honest with us, okay? And I'm not being sarcastic here. This is not a joke, what's happening. There's no recession bar. You're like, well, wait a minute. Both times, or all three times, here, jobs come down, recession, job openings come down, recession, job openings come down, recession. Well, wait, what the freak is going on? Why isn't there a recession? It's because they're lying, right? Okay, this is why you need to be ready. You can either sit on the sidelines and go, oh man, I can't believe you take advantage of somebody that is not paying their taxes and going to lose their house. Well, they're going to lose their house anyway. See, that's how the world works. If you don't pay to Caesar what is Caesar's, Caesar comes and takes your house. Caesar comes and puts you in jail. This is what happens, right? And so you could either sit back and watch this happen and let the banks get bigger, or you can get richer. This is important right now. So let's go back into this story. Check this out. This is out of Zero Hedge. Biden lied about everything. The Philly Fed finds all jobs that were created, right, in quarter two were fake. Now, please understand as I read this story, as people, we have done stories about people losing jobs because companies are closing. Now I'm doing stories about how job numbers were faked. And I told you this so many times before that when the new president comes in, you're going to see all this delusive information like the economy is collapsing. And they want to bury him because for the last 4 years, the government has been printing excess money, spending your taxpayer dollars to prop up the economy, to hide everything, to just straight out lie. It says back in August, many were surprised by the accuracy of our forecast when we predicted that in its annual revision, the Biden Bureau of Labor Statistics would revise job numbers for the April 2023 to March 2024 period by up 1 million, something which we said would mean that all job report beats recorded in the past year have been misses, and the U.S. labor market is in far worse shape than the admin would admit, right? It says here the final results, as everyone knows by now, was a shocking 818,000 job revision lower. And honestly, when this happened, the Philly Fed was caught. They were caught lying. Okay, this wasn't like, oh hey, we made a mistake. They were caught. Just as the Philly Fed had predicted 6 months prior in March, when it calculated correctly that the Biden Department of Goal-Seeking Propaganda has overstated payrolls by at least 800,000. It says here, estimates by the Federal Reserve Bank of Philly indicate that the employment changes from March through June 2024 were significantly different in 27 states compared with preliminary states estimates from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, current employee statistics, the Philly Fed said on December 12th. According to the early benchmark, Estimates conducted by the Philly Fed employment was lower in 25 states, higher in 2 states, and lesser changes in the remaining 23 states and the District of Columbia, which, in my opinion, needs to be abolished. Type 3, if you agree with the District of Columbia, needs to be abolished. It says, so right now, what we're seeing is incredible truth coming out. Okay. People are losing their jobs and there are less job openings. Okay. You know, I don't think people really grasp how important this is for you to understand that it's time for you to become your own bank. And being your own bank isn't having a savings account. It's way more than owning everything you've got and then, uh, having assets that go up in value during inflationary times. Being your own bank is loaning money out. That is truly being a lender. This is so vital. This is why I'm teaching people tax liens and deeds so that you can own homes for pennies on the dollar during this crash, turn around and sell them and carry the paper, becoming a real bank and being a good lender. Can you imagine you buying a small house and instead of fixing it up and renting it or fixing it up and flipping it for a profit, um, you actually sell it, but you carry the note. And when people are having a hard time getting loans, because during downturns, and we're already seeing it, credit is contracting. Okay. One of the ways credit is contracting is to go and buy a house or to get a credit card or to buy a car to get the good rates, the prime borrowers, the prime rates, the really good deals on debt. They are adding or increasing the scrutiny on borrowers. That's one way that credit contracts because now fewer people have access to good standards for lending, for borrowing money, right? Can you imagine a day? Now, think about this where you own a house and you put it up for sale and you say, I'm going to sell this house, but I am going to carry the note, okay? With a solid down payment, I am going to uh, carry the note. Let's say rates are at 6.5%. I'm willing to do 6% good qualified buyer. You qualify the buyer, a family that needs a house, they've saved up. You then sell them the house and you say, you know what, I'm going to do too. If rates go down, you can go and there's a little process to it, but I will give you a free refinance because now you are retaining that interest payment that is going to the bulk of the payment on that 30-year amortized schedule. And you don't sell them a loan that is intended for you to take the property back. You be a good lender. Think about this. You have now officially became a bank and you're getting all that interest. And then when they want to refinance, you know what? You're not their financial doctor, but you're going to be there to make sure that they're supported all the way. And you will you'll refinance for free. They save money and the clock starts over again. You're going to be a hero to that family and you're going to be a hero to your family because you're bringing in tons of money, uh, just like a bank. This is what the banks don't want. See, the banks want you dependent on them for your next handout. Think about how many people right now are pulling equity lines on their homes just to pay off their bills, consolidate bills, because they've gotten themselves too much in debt, right? This is human nature. Only a few people ever stand up. And no matter where you are financially right now, you can start and become wealthy. But you have to have a wealthy mindset. Most people don't have a wealth mindset. You know, the Federal Reserve knows, and I don't think that the new president, Donald Trump, knows that you can't just lower rates when inflation is going on because you create hyperinflation. Because every time you lower rates, and eventually the bond market does come down with it, debt gets cheaper. People go and they spontaneously go and they speculate. They borrow money to go buy stocks. They'll buy, which you're going to see soon. You're going to see family friends taking loans against their homes to buy Bitcoin. I know it sounds crazy. I've lived this. I know it well. In 2017, when Bitcoin was 17 grand, I was watching people take loans against their homes. You can't stop human nature. You can't stop people from over leveraging, especially in a nation that allows bankruptcy. You can't stop it. And every time someone comes bankruptcy, your insurance rates go up. The cost of borrowing money goes up. This is what's going on with the Federal Reserve. For heaven's sakes, most people don't understand. The banks are insolvent, Federal Reserve is insolvent, and one of the reasons is because FDIC insurance is so expensive because we just went through the collapse next to the Great Depression. But I was also warning people in 2005, 2006 as I was selling all my homes, and people had no concept, no clue. I said something when I started this channel. I said a couple different things. I said Bitcoin's going to be 100 grand before you know it. You should go buy some. I said gold and silver are going to rise because inflation is going to start. And I said another thing is you need to. Now I totally blanked out on it. There's so many things running through my mind. I've been trying to warn people around the world to prepare, and quite frankly, a lot of people have. Matter of fact, if you're if you've been blessed by getting ready for a downturn in the economy in the last 3 years, you've been watching this channel, can you do me a favor and just say, that's me? You're one of those people. Just type, that's me. You're one of those people that have been getting ready. You bought gold, you bought some silver, you've gotten out of debt, you've started to look at things differently, you bought some crypto, and now you're seeing the fruits of your labor just expand, right? You're seeing your net worth going up exponentially. Now, if you've never seen this channel, you're watching this, look at the comment section. Look at every single person. This isn't about me. This is about us. This is about a certain group of humans that are gonna just look at things different. They're gonna pivot. They're gonna move into action, and they're gonna be incredibly well in this next cycle. And for all the bleeding hearts out there going, I can't believe you take advantage of someone's downturn. Well, the banks have been doing it for centuries. So what do you want? Do you want a bank to get bigger and bigger, so it's too big to fail? Or do you want to see people like all the people in this comment section are saying, yeah, that's me. I've been preparing and I'm getting blessed. You want to see the wealth go into their hands, or do you want to see it go into the banking hands? Like, really consider that before somebody pops off and goes, I don't give a rip if someone goes, I can't believe you take advantage. You're an idiot if you say that. I gotta be, just call a spade, right? But look down in the comment section and look at what people are typing. The government is not here to save you. They want to enslave you. Type 10 if you agree with that. The government wants its people to be dependent on it for handouts so that it becomes their slave force. The government will become, and the government is not just one person. It's a machine because it's built and run off of human behavior, human psychology. And throughout the dawn of time, we have seen cycles of slaves and then revolts into freedom and then goes back into slaves. There is nothing new under the sun, like King Solomon says. So the reason why there's something called the elites is because it's elite mindset. And the question is, are you going to have that mindset? I want to teach you how to buy homes for pennies on the dollar in tax foreclosure sales. Okay. I want to teach you how to make between 18 and 36% on your money, loaning people money to stay in their house by paying their tax debt for a specific amount of time. I want to teach you how to do this. A very few investors in this nation know how to do it. And quite frankly, it makes me disgusted. And I've spent thousands of dollars on education to go and do this myself. And I don't want to charge people thousands of dollars. But I do need to charge a good rate that makes you think and gets you through the courses. So for the next 4 hours or 5 hours, whatever the countdown timer says, and then it's going up and it will never be this price again. Quite frankly, this will be the most expensive course I've ever sold to date because one deal pays for your entire education on this. The courses are going to go up. Tax Lien Pro, Tax Foreclosure Master. I'm going to teach people how to buy homes and tax deeds. And just so you know, you can buy this. You can do this from anywhere in the earth. And if you live in a tax deed state, don't worry. You should go and buy tax liens in another state. You can buy them on the computer. I'm going to show you how to register for the auctions. I'm going to show you how to organize it. And quite frankly, I've seen tax deeds for as little as $87. So you can start with as little as $87 and make 18% on that money. And if that doesn't seem impressive to you, go look at your bank account making 1 or 2% and then go, well, if I made 18% on 87 bucks, how much would have to be in my bank account sitting there making, 1 or 2% for an entire year? And just so you know, these states, a lot of these states, you buy a tax lien and the next day the owner pays the county back what he owes or she owes plus the 18% that goes to you. You can just go and roll that over and buy another one the next day. Yeah, it's compounding interest. It's the eighth wonder of the world. Well, ask Albert Einstein. He'll tell you something about it. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you know that 2025 is going to be hit with massively bad news. Yes, those of you that purchase certain cryptocurrencies are going to see explosion in your wealth. You're already seeing it. But you're going to need to learn that there's a cycle top to that too. And you've got to take the bulk of that money and move it into the next thing. And that's why I know it sounds funny. I was preparing this channel for the boom in cryptocurrency well over a year ago. Okay, we're there now. Now I'm preparing people for the boom in real estate foreclosures and how to go buy those with your profits from the cryptocurrency. It's called cycle investing. It's very good, very well known with wealthy people, not with poor people or middle class. I want you to understand that. That's how I made all my money. Cycles. And I'm always ahead because I'm dealing with data from current times and understanding how to decipher that data, knowing that it's going to have an effect, either positive or negative, in the future in the economy. The Dow Jones has hit the longest losing streak since 2018, and I'm telling you that's significant. Job numbers are now at 28. Job openings are now at 2018 numbers. Lies are coming out about job openings. Lies are coming out, and they're going to really massively come out in quarter 1. So the question is, do you want to be positioned for success, or do you want to be positioned to be part of the failure? The answer is yours. Type success or failure. Make your decision now. Say it out loud. Put it in writing right here in the comment section, and then go act. This isn't a time for people sitting on the fence. This isn't the time for lukewarm investors. This isn't the time for cowards. This is the time to take serious action. If you're ready to take action, let's stink and do this. Links down below. The sale's good for 4 hours. The Economic Ninja is out.